Katie, on my way here to your house today, as a lot of our listeners know, we record in Stouffville, and the most...
Don't tell people where I live.
I feel like you've said it before.
I already have such a large fan base following.
Oh, you don't want stalkers?
I don't want to feel like people are watching me or looking out for me. Especially how I go dressed in Walmart at 8 in the morning.
So do you want me to bleep that out?
Well, it's too late now. I probably have mentioned it before when I was being careless. Careless Katie.
So the most country thing happened on my way driving to get a burrito, because we were going to meet up and get a burrito. Katie ended up getting a salad, by the way, just instead. She got me hooked on burritos, and then she got a salad.
Well, whatever. It wasn't even my salad wasn't even very good.
My burrito was pretty good.
So you won in the end.
So these cars pulled up.
Your guac was not good, though.
No, the guac wasn't good.
I
wouldn't get the guac again.
Off-putting.
Yeah, I wasn't. Is that why you weren't eating it?
Yeah.
Why didn't you tell me?
No, I just realized after, it needed some lemon. It needed some salt.
It was bland.
It needed to not be rotten.
Chipotle's, you've never had Chipotle, right?
No, never.
So their guac is very good.
Isn't that where the whole I'd pay, you're like guac, I'd pay for you or something?
What? I'd pay for you? No, it's not that. It's I'd pay extra.
Yeah.
Or something. Like I'd get you extra guac, or I'd pay for your guac.
And that came from Chipotle.
Probably. So, yeah, the most country thing happened. These two cars pulled up next to each other, and they were talking, right? You could see they're talking to each other through their windows, through their passenger seat, like the one driver's window and the other guy's passenger.
We get it.
Okay. So they were talking to each other, but then as the light turns green, they continue to drive and talk to each other while they're driving for like a kilometer. And they were going kind of slow, so I was kind of pissed, but I was also like watching it with like wide eyes, like, what is this? This would never happen in Toronto. Like they're driving, Katie, and they're having a conversation. You can see their hands going and stuff to each other through the window.
I mean, first of all, why would they just pull over and have a proper chat? But yeah, because we're a small town and we move slowly. Okay, so Ryan, what are we talking about today?
Oh, we're not talking about country roads or guac?
Oh, well, I mean, we could if we want, but I mean, you gotta spend a week in this town. I'd love for you to try to see what goes on.
Oh.
Everybody knows each other.
Really?
And yeah, it's so much better than no, it's not so much better. It's just very different than the hustle and bustle of Toronto. Maybe
I'd meet a country boyfriend. Hey, I'm down for that.
You said you're looking for a cowboy.
I'm looking for a cowboy. Save a horse.
And ride a cowboy.
Oh, okay. I was just going to say save a horse and ride the bus.
No.
Just kidding.
Okay, back on topic.
Okay.
What are we... I was going to say, what are we eating today?
Oh. Why is that? Because you're eating while we're recording?
No, I'm just slowly dipping this tortilla in this green salsa.
That is weird that the salsa's green.
You've never seen that before?
No, I have seen it. It's usually when it's hot. Like, I get it, but why?
I don't know. It's called research, Ryan.
Oh, okay. So, do your line. We're waiting for your line.
Okay, so Ryan, what are we talking about today?
So today we're talking about slow love and how us as a generation, millennials, like to take things a little bit slower as far as marriage and relationships and things like that.
Did you hear it? You're like,
did I?
Slower.
And I don't even have my retainer in. Why are you laughing so hard at that? Oh my gosh. I legit had my clear retainer in last night, yesterday. I don't wear it often, but if you want your teeth to be a little bit.
Do you wear it out in the day or just while you're sleeping?
I went on a walk with it.
With your retainer.
Yeah, but just on a walk. I think I should send her a Snapchat or something of me wearing my retainer.
And also, I know you have the clear one, but I'm just picturing you with the old-fashioned bar.
Yeah.
As you wear this nice dress-up shirt and your big smile. Okay.
Aww.
Okay, so slow love. What do they mean by that? People are dating for a long time before they become boyfriend, girlfriend, or people are dating for a long time before they get engaged, or people are being engaged for a long time?
So
or all of the above?
Kind of all of that. So this is from a New York Times article, and it's by Tara Parker Pope, and the article is called "Should We All Take the Slow Road to Love?" And it's interesting because it talks about how millennials are putting that theory to the test. And Helen Fisher, who's a biological anthropologist, She calls it slow love. And one of the things that stood out to me in this article was a fact about divorce and how, on average,
He has. Oh, sorry. I have the better mic stand, so I'm casually leaning into my mic, and he's got it on this ice bucket thing.
you got to do what you got to do. We're on a budget,
Anyways,
which is no budget.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, in this article, it talks about how a study found that American couples aged 25 to 34 spend an average of 6.5 years together before marrying, compared with an average of 5 years for all other age groups. So our generation is spending more time dating before deciding on, is this person the one?
Okay, but again, this article could be a little bit more specific if it's like, is it from the time that they meet to the time that they get married is 6 years? Or,
Yeah.
a lot of people also have very long engagements because there's no rush.
Well, we should bring that up in this episode because there's people that have like 3-year engagements. I'm sorry, but I think that's way too long. Why wouldn't you just put off the proposal? I think a year. I think it should be a year and a half max after you get engaged.
You're
yeah.
capping it. Okay,
I'm capping it. Okay, let's let Katie's coming out.
Yeah,
Here we go.
I'm going to say the other side of that because
Okay, go ahead.
I'm not engaged or anything there yet. I'm
Yet.
just saying.
You hear that, listeners? Yet.
But I'm saying some people, maybe the woman or the man, whoever,
Yeah.
they kind of want to let that other partner know that, hey, I love you enough, or I'm this serious, so I'd like to propose to you so you know that we are going in that direction.
Yeah.
Or a lot of women, I'll just be using that as an example, really want that ring, really kind of want that relationship to almost be solidified in a way, kind of, if you like it, then you should have put a ring on it. But that doesn't mean that, okay, now that you proposed, we've got to start planning immediately. And I mean,
no, you don't have to plan immediately, but like, what about couples that take 2-3 years after they get proposed to have the marriage? Like, what's even the point of being engaged for that long?
because it's kind of that nice next step. You're not just boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah.
You are fiancés and you are engaged.
Yeah.
Therefore, it's just a nice feeling to know that somebody is ready to go to that next step. But marriages, there'll be little girls that say, I've had my dream wedding planned out since I was 5.
Yeah.
And there's other people that they don't know if they want maybe a vacation wedding, or if they want a big wedding, or they're very busy with their careers, or
Yeah.
maybe they already have like children because they had them younger and those are their main focuses. But sure, if you have
Yeah.
like a 10-year engagement, but some people are even happy to just stay engaged. But I just think that it's kind of that nice next step that, no, we're not just boyfriend and girlfriend, but hey, we don't have to rush down the altar either.
Okay, I can see your perspective, and I think, okay, maybe I'll up it to like 1.5 to 2 years.
Oh, wow,
But
that's so generous
If
of you.
someone's been engaged for 3-4 years, I just don't get it. It was like, I feel like if you're proposing, you should have plans, at least in the immediate future, that you're going to make this person your husband or wife or partner for life. Don't you think?
But then there's also other factors of who you're inviting, like the guest list, and then you
Yeah.
could go even further culturally with big weddings.
Of
and
course. A couple months, though, Katie. I feel like a couple months of like
But what if
doing
they're
a guest
both
list
really
and planning.
busy?
I think you have to usually book a lot of these venues at least a year in advance. So that's what I'm saying, around a year. But like 2 years, 3 years, no, I get it. You're busy, but maybe then maybe it's not the right time then.
No, well, that's why they're not getting married. Cause it's
But
not
they're getting engaged, which I think is the first step in then getting married.
I get it.
It is, but you know what I'm saying? Like, why is there so much space in between?
I get it. I just think maybe most likely, and I could be totally wrong with this guess, but
Yeah.
people that are waiting a long time probably aren't overly traditional people.
You think so?
Because, obviously everything depends on the person and the situation, but I also think that when no, that's my water.
Oh, can we split it? I'm trying to.
I'm not sure about that.
She has a whole Starbucks ice water with lemon and ice.
No, the ice is gone.
Okay, how about this? We'll split it so that you get the rest of that cup filled with it, right? And then I get a cup filled with it.
Ryan, it's okay. I'll just go get more water when I need it.
Here.
No, don't keep your water bottle.
Why? No, I'm gonna pour it.
Yeah,
We're gonna
okay.
share it. I want to share with you.
Sharing is caring.
Yeah.
Why didn't you get me a birthday card?
Oh my God, I forgot. Legitimately, I actually thought before meeting up with you today that I wanted to get you something. Because, you got me like the little chocolate cake pops.
Yeah.
I actually legit wanted to get you something, and then I forgot.
That's okay. You shared your water with me.
Hey, you know what we'll do? I'll get you a McDonald's sundae.
I don't want a McDonald's sundae.
We're going to get a McDonald's sundae.
Ryan always wants to get a McDonald's sundae, and he knows I don't like them.
Okay, you got an ice cream cone, and we had a blast.
Okay, so
One
back
time.
to slow love. Okay, we were also talking about earlier when we were discussing this that I feel as though our generation, and I'm speaking, Canada, just kind of what we grew up around, was the first one that really saw divorce everywhere.
Yep.
I mean, I remember my mom and I talking about this years ago, and she said her parents' generation, so our grandparents, it was just a totally different time, obviously, and you just didn't see divorce. You married that person and you stayed with them regardless of the situation or the love. And it was just very taboo and very looked down upon if you divorced. And then our parents' generation kind of started getting that ball rolling. And it's like as soon as it started becoming almost normal, everybody was doing it. So if you look up the statistics, then you'll see how many couples' parents ended in divorce. I mean, I know personally looking around when I was in school.
What would you say? How many?
Oh my God, I don't know, 80?
80%?
Like it's
That's a high number.
I know, you look shocked.
Well, what's interesting is they mentioned this in the article. So Dr. Fisher actually says that people who date 3 years or more before marrying are 39% less likely to get a divorce than people who rush into marriage. So that's a huge stat, right? Is the fact that 3 or more years. And I'm wondering how you feel about that because, your relationship, I've met your boyfriend and he's an awesome guy. You guys have moved very quickly.
Yes.
From the outside looking in.
Oh,
You've moved
absolutely. From the
very
inside
quickly.
looking in.
I mean, you're moved in together. You have pets together. You have fur babies together. And you talk about renovating together and all this stuff. It seems like a pretty awesome relationship. But you guys have moved really fast. So how do you feel about this statistic? Would you rather wait 3 years with someone because you want it less likely to get a divorce, or do you think you just know and you follow your heart?
No, I mean, obviously, the longer that you're with someone, the longer that you date them, the more life events that you're going to go through to see if you can tackle this and get through that. And they always say also the best way to know somebody is live with them and travel with them because you can be dating someone and basically live at their house, but the moment that you move in, you can just see a lot of different sides to somebody.
Yeah.
And through time, the more time that you're together, then you'll just experience more as a couple and as individuals, and you'll gain a better understanding of how compatible you are. And, something traumatic may happen in the family, let's just say, and are you strong enough to navigate through these moments? Somebody could lose their job, and it's great to be in love, but reality is that life is hard and life is full of unforeseen moments and situations. So I do agree. The longer you're with someone, probably the more likely you are for it not to end in separation.
But how do you feel about it in a relationship that some from the outside may say has been moving very fast? My question to you is, would you rather prolong getting married or even getting engaged, or would you rather, F the statistics and kind of just go with your heart?
Well, that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I am in no rush for marriage. I do think engagement is exciting, but that's still a while away anyways. But
how long would you say?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe definitely after the year mark, that would be helpful.
So a year would be like December, right?
November.
Oh, November, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
But
that's a year of you meeting.
No, that's a year of us dating.
No.
Yeah.
No.
The 25th of November, yes.
Are you sure?
Yeah, why
I feel like in January you had just started dating. You met him in December, I'm pretty sure.
No, Ryan.
No?
No.
I guess you would know more than I would.
Yeah, I would 100% know more than you. No, I mean, I have we have moved quickly, and of course anybody looking from the outside in would agree, but I'm the kind of person that I go with what I feel and what seems right, and what seems like what we're doing. It's our situation and it's our relationship, and only time will tell. But I'm also the kind of person where I can't not do something based on how people would perceive it. So if I want to start dating someone almost right away and the feeling's mutual, I'm not going to go, well, no, we have to date before we become official for a few months or whatever, so that the public gets it. Because I don't care. Public doesn't go home with me at night. So
yeah, true.
But I do get it, of course. I mean, I'm not an idiot. Like, the more time you get to know somebody, the longer you're with them, you just are more equipped to kind of understand the gravity of your relationship. And yeah, I'm just not doing that.
So we just have so much fun.
Yeah, we always do.
And now we're going to do a social media bump because we haven't done one of those in a while.
Okay. So what's your Insta?
My Insta is at Ryan Durgy, RyanDurgy. And my Twitter is the same.
My Twitter is 01 Katie Jones. What are you thinking about my tweets these days?
I feel like you could be doing more. I wanted more kind of erratic and more more erratic and more often tweets, but you've kind of like calmed down. Like, some of your tweets actually are cohesive and make sense. And I kind of wanted erratic Katie Jones on there on Twitter.
Oh man. Okay, well, I'll give the people what they want. My Instagram is KTEE Jones. I'm private.
No, it's oh yeah, your Insta, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
private,
but what's
so you
your
have to
Twitter
add
though?
me. I just told them 01 Katie
Oh,
Jones.
sorry, I missed it. Okay. And then our Instagram is at Is This Adulthood, and our Twitter is at ITA_podcast.
There you go, guys. So
what do you
give
think
us
about
a follow.
the Twitter?
I love the Twitter.
You do?
I'm starting to love the Twitter.
Really? Why?
You're good with it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So yeah, give us a follow, and also don't forget to subscribe, right, Katie Jones? Shouldn't they subscribe?
Because it's awesome that you're listening, but you know, it's also awesome to have followers.
You know what? Looking at our stats, we have a very high amount of subscribers. Like, most people that listen, from what I've seen, subscribe. So
Wonderful.
That's a pretty big deal.
So thanks, guys.
So another thing that this article mentions, it kind of talks about what you're talking about, but it says that with slow love, maybe by the time people walk down the aisle, they know who they've got and they think they can keep who they've got. And that's so true. It's exactly what you're saying, is that when you have more life experiences and more years with someone, you kind of know what you're getting yourself into. Whereas if you rush into it, it could just be long enough that they've hid that side to them.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Excuse me. Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's that saying, time always will make you tell. And I don't think that's actually a saying. I think I just made that up.
What was it again? Say it again.
I don't even remember. I definitely just made that up. But time heals all wounds. Time will show people your true colors.
Yeah.
And like I touched on before with traveling and living together, when you're around somebody more and you have to kind of navigate through certain things, then exactly, you do know what you're kind of setting yourself up for in the long run. But also, do whatever the heck you want. Like, I mean, hopefully you're not on your 5th marriage, you know, and you're having like 4-month engagements after being together for 4 months. But I think I just hiccuped from this guacamole. But yeah, okay, so what else about slow love do you think it is important?
So another thing that the article mentions that I found what was interesting was it talks about how sex for some people has become the getting to know you phase of courtship. So before it'd be going on the first date, whereas now it's kind of like people hook up first and then they start dating, which I've seen friends where legit multiple friends, it started as a hookup from one of the dating apps, and they've been in like now a 4-year relationship. So I've seen that happen multiple times. I think that I'm traditional with this. I mean, obviously things can happen, and maybe that does happen. Maybe it would happen with me. But for me, I still like the idea of courtship, going out on the first date and going out for drinks and getting to know them. And then the hooking up, whatever you want to call it, happens later on. What do you think about this? So what it's saying is that now the first step in courtship is having sex, and the first official date comes after.
Oh, so I mean, that's what you're doing the first time you hang out. It's a hookup.
Like
you discuss that.
Well, no, it's just saying that the first date has changed. In the article it says it's time consuming and expensive. Now they have a sex interview with a person to see if they want to invest in a first date.
Oh,
that's what it says in it.
I've never heard of this.
Oh,
I've heard of
I've
people
seen it.
going on a date and it ending that way.
No, I've heard of people where they've met on an app and it started as let's meet up and let's bang, whether it's a rebound
Whoa.
or and then legit now they've been in 4-year relationships, 5-year relationships, and it all started from a hookup.
See, that to me, I mean, to each their own. That to me, I don't really understand. Just because, okay, there's the saying, you don't buy the car before you test drive it. But also, natural chemistry is going to be, in my opinion, a good enough indication as to whether you want to see this person again.
Or if you want to see them naked.
Legit,
right?
Or sometimes maybe like the first kiss, you're like, oh, that didn't go well.
Yeah.
And you're surprised.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you meet somebody or in the first few minutes of a date or the first little while, it's usually a pretty clear sign as to, I like this person, or I definitely want to see them again or see where this goes. Or quite quickly, like one of the first dating app date that I did, I've talked about it in like an episode before, but I knew the second we sat down. It was a lovely person.
You knew the second what? That it wasn't going to work out?
Yeah, like I was never going to see this person again. Nothing again.
I've had that too.
Yeah.
You know within a couple seconds.
You just know. I don't have to go home and bang him to know. Like, it's just, he was a wonderful man. And
we should swap date stories. That should be our next episode idea, is swapping date stories.
Let us know what you guys think. I understand, like, there are very, like, sexual people. They're kind of sexually driven, so they don't go on multiple dates before they, do the dirty. Some people are, and I love some confident women out there have no problem going home after a great date and being intimate with that person. They're not worried about being slut-shamed or being judged for it because, if the man can do it, so can the woman. That I get. But being like, we have to have sex first before I can tell if I like you.
Okay, listen, I don't think it's that we have to have sex. Well, okay, yeah, I can see what you mean, where the way that this is phrased is it's called the sex interview, and it's like you want to decide if you want to commit more time to this person by having sex first. And I think I'm the same mindset of you. I think I'm very traditional. I'd rather go on the date first, and I feel like you can feel someone's vibes. You can tell someone's a sexual, sensual person just by talking to them. However, I can understand that if someone isn't looking for something serious, maybe they don't want to commit all the time to a boyfriend right away. I feel like, and maybe the article didn't really touch on this from what I read, is that it's more they start as a hookup because maybe they're not looking for something right then.
That I understand.
Then it leads to
if
something
both people
serious.
are communicating what they're after and what they're seeking, then that's totally different. And then sometimes people can be surprised and go, wow, I like you a lot more than only seeing you once a week.
Yeah.
I want to make time for you now.
Yeah.
Which I think is really awesome. But, I think you're going to know way before that, like, sex happens, just by, like, how you are together, by, like, kissing, just by, like, just being around one another, that I think you can usually tell if it's going to go, like, poorly.
So I guess my final question, maybe to wrap this up, because I feel like we may end up going on a rant with this question. We'll have to see. Katie's giving me a look with her eyebrows up. I want to know. I already know the answer to this for you.
Oh, God.
But I want to know. I already know your answer. I want to know if you would start dating someone, and if you were like, you know what, after a couple of dates, you're like, this is probably the person I'm going to marry, right? You're like, I feel like you can tell pretty quickly if this is like the one. Maybe not marriage, but you're kind of like, I feel like this is going to be something very, very special.
Yeah.
Would you commit to not having sex with them until you get married? I already know your answer.
No.
Okay, but Katie, this is the thing, is because I've heard of people doing this where they've had sex before, but when they actually go for a serious relationship that they feel is going to turn into marriage, they don't have sex until their wedding night.
Who does that?
I've heard of someone doing this.
Yeah, 40 years ago.
No, I know someone now. It's not someone that I know directly. It's someone that I know, his friend did that. Religion ties into it, though, I think, with that.
Massively.
But I'm just wondering if you would consider that. Because I guess, okay, I'm going to play devil advocate here, because I feel like I'd be the same as you, where like I feel like your mindset is probably, and I think you maybe even mentioned this, is you want to test drive the car before buying it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you want to take a little bit of a ride, right? A joyride before investing in it. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to play devil's advocate here, and I'm going to say,
it makes no sense.
If you waited...
This concept makes no sense unless there's religious ties to it.
Okay, if there's
and
no
the
religious
church.
ties, though. Okay, if there's no religious ties, you can still kiss and be intimate, but you're not going to have full-out sex. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Would it not make it that much more special once you actually had sex?
Every time you have sex with that person, it's special.
Yeah.
You don't need some grandiose evening.
Yeah.
No, I mean, again, if there is the religious aspect to it, that's a whole nother thing. But if it's just like, I'm going to wait, well, first of all, you'd be like running to City Hall. But like, what's the point? Like, life is about moments and experiences and the good times and the bad times and how you get over the bad times and remembering the times you had a blast. And like, what, we're just not going to be intimate that way with one another until the day of our wedding? Like, no, I'm not on board with this idea at all.
Do you think that it would be like really, really special and intimate because it's been all this like sexual chemistry for, let's just say, a year and a half? And
what
then
if you start to get bored because you're not like no.
What?
No,
What do you mean bored?
Like, it's just kind of like you're not with that person.
You mean like if you're not having sex with them throughout the relationship, you think that someone would get bored?
Well, maybe bored is like the wrong choice of word, but I just mean, sorry, sex is a massive part of a relationship.
Yeah, I agree.
It just is. And so if you already were having it and it's not a culture thing that is pushing you to do this, it's like, I was going to kiss.
Okay,
hold hands.
How about this then? You have sex throughout the relationship, but then once you get engaged, you stop having sex until you get married.
No.
That's going to speed up these 2-year engagements.
Yeah.
No, okay, but that would be leading up to, don't you think that's a bit more understandable?
But why? What's the point?
I guess the point is that on your wedding
it's
night,
so much more special.
it would be that much more intimate and special because
Or
you're
it'd be
just
2 minutes.
craving. Oh my gosh.
But I'm already craving the person I'm with. That's why
Yeah,
I'm
that's
with
a good
them.
point. Okay, I can see that. I see that.
Yeah, are you picturing it?
Picture what? What am I supposed to be picturing right
Let's
now?
get it on. How about you, Ryan? When you get engaged, are you going to wait for your wedding day where I'm your best man?
No.
Who's your best man going to be? Patrick? Patrick, if you're listening, he wants me to be it. He just doesn't know how to tell you.
No, I don't know who my best man would be.
Am I going to be in your wedding party?
I think I wouldn't. You know how it's like groomsmen and bridesmaids? I think in my relationship with, like, obviously it'd be another guy. I think it would just be what would it be? Is it called a groom's party or groomsmen? I think it would be a mix of like women and men.
So do you
on
think
both
I'll
sides.
be up there with you?
You'll be up there. I think so, yeah.
Aww.
Yeah, it'd be like you.
You said that without hesitation.
It would probably be you, my friends Kat and Rachel, my brother, my sister, and maybe my friend Adam. We'd have to see, right? We'd have to see like who's still around at that point as far as like friendships. But most of those people I just mentioned, I feel like I've been friends with them already for like 5 years. And maybe I'm forgetting someone. I'm sorry. Shout out to someone if I'm forgetting you.
Shout out to whoever you may be.
Am I going to be up there with you?
No, because I'm going to have all chicks. But you'll be there.
Wow. Do you guys just see that? I just got curved by Katie.
No, but you're going to be there.
You legit just curved me.
I didn't
But why don't you do the same thing I do and just make it men and women?
Well, that's your idea. No,
Or why wouldn't I be on your BF's side?
Well, maybe you will be. We'll have to see.
Wow. So legit, you just have me in the altar sitting there in the back row watching. Meanwhile, you're going to be up there with me?
You had to crouch because all the seats are full.
You're so rude. Okay, I'm leaving now. So, yeah, we're looking for a new co-host.
Yeah, you'll be
Just
partnered
kidding.
with me.
But you'll be sitting in the back at her wedding.
All in all, I think with this episode wrapping up, you've heard me say it before and many of our previous ones, go with your gut and trust your instincts and do what you want to do. I mean, obviously, if multiple people are coming to you about, maybe a certain opinion on your relationship, or if a lot of people who you trust have concerns or anything like that, don't discredit everyone's opinions, because some are valid and, some you need to listen and hear. But if people are just telling you that maybe you're moving too quickly or you're being engaged for too long because it's not what they would do, that's the kind of stuff that I don't take definitely too much to heart or much at all.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to be engaged for 5 years, then you go right ahead, because you still might get divorced anyways.
Well, I guess we're going to end it with that then. I guess my whole perspective on this is I think that our generation gets a lot of flack for the way that we handle relationships, but I think time will tell about how long relationships work. I've known a lot of people around our age group that have had long-lasting relationships, bought a house together, have fur babies together, whatever, right? Before they commit to that marriage stage. And I think that our generation, I think you hit the nail right on the head with, we witnessed a lot of divorce, right? Like, you've seen it, if it wasn't your family, it was your friends. And I think people want to avoid that. Because if they came from broken home, or I guess, I don't know if that's the right thing to say, broken homes, but that's the phrase that people use when people separate. If you came from a separated or divorced family, then I feel like you probably experienced some hardship with that. And if you saw your friends deal with that, and they've probably expressed to you, like I know my parents still together, and I remember when I was younger, I had friends where their parents were divorced, and they thought it was so awesome that my parents were together.
Yeah, and I mean, your parents' relationship is honestly a rarity amongst their generation, especially, and how many people didn't stay together because they were, people are pressured to get married. And even going back to your whole 2 years is too long for an engagement. Well, what if you're together for a year and you end up being engaged for 2 years? So in those 2 years, things changed. Maybe your partner became lazier with addressing your needs, or you just weren't communicating as well, and things changed. Thank gosh you waited those 2 years and didn't go, we've got to get this done in 7 months.
I can see what you mean, but I think at that point of getting engaged, shouldn't you know a lot of that stuff already?
Yeah, I mean,
right?
I guess it just kind of depends on what order you do things.
Fair enough.
But yeah.
But what I was going to say with that was just that I think that people want to avoid that. And that's kind of what you were saying as well. And I think that our generation gets a lot of flack, and maybe we shouldn't, because I think we're going about things differently, and you're just going to have to wait and see.
Okay, so take all my advice and none of Ryan's.
Wow. Also, I think you should DM us and let us know how unfair it is that Katie Jones is going to have me sitting in the back at her wedding when I've been a part of this throughout.
Let us know what you think.
You should just let me be, even though it's all girls. Like, you can have one gay guy out there. That is okay. I'll wear a matching suit, like a pink suit or something, if you're wearing pink dresses. I think you should make an exception, and I feel like our listeners would agree.
Okay, I'll massively think about it.
I'll massively think about it. Thanks. Anyways.
See you later, guys.
Bye.